My name is Tara Ford, I'm 30 years old. I live with my husband, Kane, he's 5 years older than me, and our sweet 5-year-old son. Today, Kane and I are attending a wedding. The bride and groom are more Kane's friends than mine. I've seen them before, but I can't say I really know them. Still, I came along for Kane's sake. The wedding is being held at a fancy hotel, the kind of place where everything looks expensive, elegant chandeliers, beautiful flower arrangements, and music that sounds like it belongs in a movie. I know it's not polite to wonder about money, but I couldn't help thinking, how much did all this cost? Kane left to greet some people he knew, so I excused myself to use the restroom. On my way back, as I walked down a quiet hallway, I heard voices, harsh, sneering ones. Oh, look who it is, that broken waste of space. What is she even doing here? What do you mean, Mom? Oh goodness, you're right, why is she here? We didn't invite her. The words hit me hard, even though they hadn't said my name. Still, it was clear who they meant. Their voices were loud, cruel, and full of mockery. I didn't want to deal with people like that, so I kept my head down and walked faster, hoping to slip away unnoticed. But one of them shouted, "Wait right there, you ugly thing, I know you can hear me." I kept walking. My name isn't you ugly thing. I didn't owe them a response, but then I heard footsteps behind me. Someone was chasing me. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my arm, squeezing tightly with sharp nails. "I told you to wait," the woman panted, clearly out of breath from running. I turned to look at her, then calmly pulled my arm free. She stumbled backward with a dramatic cry, like I'd pushed her. Honestly, it was so over the top it was almost laughable. Another woman, older, rushed up and supported her. "Elle, are you okay?" How violent of her. No surprise, really, someone raised with no class at all. Then she turned to me, eyes narrowed. "Excuse me, but who do you think you are?" I stared at her. I could ask the same. "Do I know you?" She scoffed. "Unbelievable, you don't recognize us? How self-centered and rude can you be?" "Have we met before?" I asked politely. The younger woman's face twisted with anger. "What's wrong with you? How dare you act like that? If you really forgot, I'll remind you, I'm your sister. Elle, ring a bell now? Surely even your slow brain can remember that. And this is our mother. Don't tell me you forgot her too." I tilted my head slightly. I suppose I once knew someone like that. That response clearly made them furious. Suddenly, two men ran up, hearing the commotion. "What's going on here?" one of them asked. "Elle, why aren't you dressed yet? You still need to get ready." "Dad, Ron, this woman, she crashed the wedding. Get her out, she wasn't invited." So Elle was the bride, and Ron must be the groom. I looked at them both. The older man, her father, glared at me with hatred. Ron, on the other hand, went pale when he saw me. "I can't believe she came. Why is she even here? She probably snuck in. Call security." Ron looked shocked. "Hey, stop it, watch what you're saying. This woman is." I cut in quietly. "So you really don't know anything, huh?" No one seemed to hear me. Then I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Tara, there you are. I was looking all over for you." Kane had returned. Everyone's attention snapped to him. "Sorry," I said to Kane, giving a small smile. "I got caught up talking to some interesting people." Kane looked around at the scene, reading the mood instantly. That's one of the things I love about him. Elle had been staring at Kane, practically swooning, but her expression turned nasty again the moment she saw me by his side. Ron stepped forward, clearly nervous. Ford, I'm really sorry. My wife was incredibly rude, and I sincerely apologize to your wife, too." "Elle, say sorry." Elle gasped. "What? Why should I apologize? She's the one who ruined our wedding by showing up. She's not welcome. This woman is our family's disgrace. We threw her out years ago and never wanted to see her again." Kane looked at her, surprised. "Family?" The man and woman who called themselves my parents jumped in. Yes, we're so sorry, Ron," the older man said. "She's our oldest daughter, but she was nothing but a burden. We had to throw her out 9 years ago. We don't know how she found out about Elle's wedding. Maybe she came to ruin it. She's always been like that. She didn't go to college. She didn't work a decent job, just a useless girl who wasted space, always hanging around the house doing nothing. We kept her in school out of pity. Honestly. Their words were cruel, sharp, and full of contempt, but they didn't hurt me anymore. I'd stopped caring about their opinions a long time ago. Yes, by blood, these people were my family, but not in any way that mattered. From as early as I can remember, my parents had always adored my younger sister, Elle. She was their golden child. I was treated like a burden. My father came from a long line of doctors, and my mother worked at the family clinic. On the outside, we looked like the perfect family. On the inside, it was all poison. As a little girl, I tried my best to be loved, but then I heard the reason I'd never be good enough. That sister is cute, and you're not. After that, I gave up. But I didn't give up on myself. I knew I was smart. I liked studying, so I studied hard. My goal was simple: get out of that house and never go back. My parents told me during my final year of high school, "You're not going to college. You're too stupid. Start working after graduation and give us your paycheck. You owe us for raising you. Elle might get college help, not you. You'll serve this household like the disappointment you are." I secretly recorded that conversation. In fact, I recorded many things, years of their verbal abuse and manipulation, just in case. Elle acted like she was better than me. She would say things like, "I'll become a doctor and take over Dad's clinic. I'll work hard for your share too, big sister." And my parents would cheer her on right in front of me. "Oh, how sweet, unlike your sister, you're a true joy." It was constant, deliberate, cruel. After high school, I worked part-time jobs. I stayed in that house for 3 years. Even though they hated me, they wouldn't let me leave, probably because they liked having someone to boss around and blame for everything. But what they didn't know was that I had a secret plan. I'd already rented an apartment in secret. Back when I lived at home, I heard things like, "If you do this, we won't forgive you." Or, "If you don't do that, we won't forgive you." At first, those words made me feel guilty and scared. I tried hard to please them. I thought I needed their approval just to breathe. But once I became an adult, something clicked. I realized I didn't need their forgiveness anymore. Sure, being on my own wasn't easy. Things like finding a guarantor for a lease or making enough money to live, all that was hard, but I figured it out. I worked part-time, and to be honest, I underreported some of my income so I could keep most of the money for myself. They used to demand I give them most of what I earned, so I had to be smart. Eventually, I even started investing. Little by little, I saved up. I was building a life, my life. Then one day, my younger sister was studying for her high school entrance exams, and just like that, I got kicked out. "The reason?" she said. "I can't focus on studying with you around." That was all it took. My parents didn't even think twice. They told me to leave so she could have peace and quiet. I'm sure they thought it was just temporary, that I'd come crawling back after a few weeks. They probably thought I couldn't survive without them. But I didn't go back. I took that moment as my escape, my freedom, and I never looked back. I bet they were surprised at first. Then, they probably stopped caring altogether. Because the truth was, they never needed me. They only needed my sister. It's been 9 years since then. As I stand here now, watching my sister argue with her soon-to-be husband, it almost feels surreal. Oh right, today's their wedding day. Wait, they're getting married? I honestly didn't even notice when the wedding invitation came in the mail. It had my sister's name on it, but I assumed it was from someone else with the same name. That's how little they mattered to me now. And yet here I am, standing here, watching this mess unfold. I'm telling you, my sister shouts at her fiancé, "Why are you defending that woman? I told you, she's an intruder. Her presence is polluting the air. Throw her out." Her fiancé, Alan, doesn't back down. "I told you already. I invited them. You helped me go over the guest list, didn't you? They're proper guests. They even checked in at reception, and you need to apologize for how rude you were earlier." Their argument gets louder and more intense. It's awkward. Shouldn't they be preparing to walk down the aisle, not fighting like enemies? Then, from the corner of the room, my father sees the man standing beside me, my husband, and his face changes. Wait, isn't he the son of Ford General Hospital? What? Ford General Hospital? My mother gasps. That big hospital? You mean the director's son? Their expressions twist with shock and disbelief. Kane, my husband, gives them a polite bow. "How do you do? I'm Kane Ford, and this is my wife, Tara." I bow, too, offering a soft, sweet smile. Yes, Kane is the heir of a prestigious, long-established hospital. Both his parents are brilliant doctors, he's following in their footsteps, and he's already highly respected in his field. My parents stare at me, speechless, their mouths open and close like gasping fish as they try to process what's in front of them, me, standing confidently beside my husband, holding my head high. Alan quickly jumps in, clearly trying to cover the situation. Oh, what a small world, so Dar, Ford's wife is my wife's sister, that makes us family, doesn't it, Dar? Ford, thank you again for checking on our son recently. I interrupt him calmly. That's right, Alan is also a doctor, he works at a university hospital. A few days ago, he examined my son, who hadn't been feeling well, that's our only connection. Though it seems Kane and Alan have crossed paths professionally before, Alan seems to really admire Kane. How's your son doing? Kane asks. He needs immediate care, Kane continues. Please bring him to our hospital for testing and treatment, we'll take excellent care of him. Alan shifts nervously and replies, well, we decided to get a second opinion, you know, for peace of mind. I smile at him politely, but he stiffens, he knows what I mean. Alan sees my son, our son, as a potential VIP patient. He wants him at his hospital badly, but I don't appreciate people seeing my child as some opportunity. So I reject him, with a smile. Then suddenly, my sister snaps. Oh, I get it, you're trying to show off just because you married a doctor. You think you're better than us now? Don't make me laugh. Just because you snagged a rich husband doesn't change the fact that you're a high school grad. You're still a nobody, and you even have a kid? How pathetic, that poor child, having you as a mother. That's enough, Alan says, looking embarrassed. They're your relatives, why are you talking like that? But she glares at him, full of pride, she truly believes she's right. Kane turns to me quietly and asks, Tara, are these really your family? No, I say without hesitation, they're not family at all. Because real family doesn't scream at you for every little thing. They don't refuse to feed you because you spilled a drink. They don't laugh while giving you used clothes, while your sister gets designer dresses. They don't tear up your textbooks and call you stupid. They don't dump your study notes in the trash and say you don't deserve to study. They don't throw you outside barefoot in the middle of winter just because you didn't lend a book. They don't lock you in a storage shed in the heat, calling it discipline. They don't sell your things without asking. They don't tell you straight to your face, we'll make you our slave forever. Even our neighbors saw something was wrong. They stopped bringing their kids to the family clinic because they were disturbed by how I was treated. They suspected abuse, but no one reported it. I guess they were too scared. Now the clinic's business is failing, but my parents are too blind to understand why. Alan looks stunned as Kane and I calmly list these things, just the facts. We don't even raise our voices. My parents are pale, they can't believe I know about the clinic's decline. That information came from my in-laws. They did some quiet research into my family's background, in case it was ever needed. They're wonderful people, and they were angrier about my past than I ever was. Lies, we never did that, you're just bitter because you're a failure, my mother shouts. Ron, don't listen to her, my sister says, panic rising in her voice. But it's already too late. Alan is looking at her like he doesn't recognize her anymore, like something inside him just broke.